right, good morning, everybody. We will call the March 23rd Crow Wing County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. If you would join us for the pledge in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on our agenda is recognition of retiring employees, Gary Gutenkoff. Scott? Gary, want to come on? I'll meet you right there.
Our employees don't have to wear a mask.
Yes, please.
Wow.
So I would like to recognize Gary. He's going on 31 years with the Sheriff's Office. Started in law enforcement in 1988, the year I graduated. So about the same story as we had with Joe Meyer a few weeks ago. When Teresa and I were talking about this the other day, Gary has the distinction of being one of 10 for longevity, or on the list of 10 with longevity, including who was Joe Meyer, now Gary, Therese, and we've got one in dispatch and one in records. So within the Sheriff's Office itself, for longevity across all of Crow Wing County, we have quite a few. Of course, we're losing quite a few on that top 10 list. So Gary, congratulations on a long career. And like I said, I was in high school. I think you were working Pequot Lakes, part-time up there in Pequot Lakes when I first started out. And I remember if Gary go this way, I'd try to go this way. And you never want to ram, you're trying to avoid him when you're a kid with a hot rod trying to do this.
When I was a new officer.
When you're
When new officer, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. But congratulations. I mean, it's been a long career. You've seen a lot of changes through a number of different sheriffs, and being able to be healthy and with your faith, with your family, with everything you've got a long retirement ahead of you, and we certainly appreciate your service, and good luck to you in the future. All right.
Hopefully
Yes,
you're a prophet.
Yes. If you want to say a few words, Gary,
I got
please.
something.
Okay, and then also afterwards, we'll get you and your family right up here by Commissioner Hoag's table, and we'll get some pictures for you guys too.
This is my wife, Emily, and this is my youngest son, Hunter, right here. So the other two couldn't, well, the other three couldn't make it.
Yeah.
With work and everything. Appreciate all you guys showing up today. It's great.
Yeah.
Just got a little, just a little tiny bit.
You have the floor.
Okay. I just wanted to address the board and everybody that's here, and I just said it's been an honor and a privilege to serve as a deputy sheriff with Crow Wing County for just shy of 31 years and 33 years total in law enforcement. I was born and raised in this area and always wanted to work for the Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office. I also got married and raised my family in this area and don't plan on leaving after retirement. It is definitely bittersweet to be retiring, but I'm very excited to start the new chapter of my life. And here's the challenge I have for the board here too. There's going to be many challenges and challenging days ahead for law enforcement, and they're going to need the board support of the county board more than ever in the days ahead. Thank you. So there's going to be real challenging days as you know what's going on. And law enforcement needs backing from you guys as well as everybody else. So
Thank you.
I hope you guys do that. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Gary, if you guys want to, Doug mentioned maybe we could have the board, just so we get a little bit of separation, we could have the board members kind of behind, and then you guys right in front, right up here with your family.
We'll let Therese.
I'll get him.
Crosby boy, we forgot to mention. Oh, yeah.
And yes, we have people covering the street. Yes, this is just.
Oh, shoot. I gotta make a quick call then, Scott.
Oh, cool.
That's neat. That's 31 years.
All right, right up here, guys.
Sorry about that. They're all leaving. So quick for y'all.
Yeah, right up front there.
I'm not gonna make that. I hope you got a honey-do list made out for him, so.
Oh.
Therese, how do you want, does this work? You never done it before, yeah?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, Scott, you want to get in there too?
Yeah, I'll get in there. No, it's good. Like, you wanna get in there for one? Yeah.
Hold the puppy up.
Yeah, put him right up on the counter
We are
there.
building, just so you guys know, we are building that back wall where the bullets used to be. You remember we had that ammo on the wall there? Oh, yeah. We're gonna put plaques up for everyone retiring when we're gonna try to be back in like 4 or 6 years. And get plaques for everyone, all the way along there, so we'll make sure they know that.
So I want to get in there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I need just everybody to shift over, just all of you in the front. Yep,
Are you tight?
right there. Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice. Congratulations.
If you wanna drop that off the team here, we got a nice frame to put in.
Congratulations, Gary.
Thank you so
Enjoy.
much. Thanks for your service.
Gary.
Here. You bet.
This is his official last day. All right, next on our agenda is open forum. If there's anybody here or online that would like to comment on an issue not on today's agenda,
Mr. Chair, I do think that we need to address who's here. I don't think we did attendance.
I apologize. In person, we have Commissioner Franzine, myself, and Commissioner Brecken. On Teams, we have Commissioner Coring, and Commissioner Barrows was unable to attend today, so.
Thank you, and there is one person on open forum today.
All right. I can't read the name.
All right. My name is Jonathan Ward. I live in Oaklawn Township in Red Pine Road. And we have a dog problem with our neighbors. It's been ongoing for months now, and has been exacerbated by their second dog, which appears to be some kind of Great Dane. The dogs basically are in our yards all the time, barking at us all the time. They're out in the street. They're not on any kind of leashes. The other night, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning with the dog barking. We have called the sheriff's department a number of times. Sheriff are very sympathetic. They do respond, but their hands are tied because there is no leash laws or legislation outside of the Brainerd city limits. So I wanted to come on here, express my frustration with this, and I understand there used to be laws which were repealed, so I would like to see if that can be explored, some kind of option that can give the sheriff some power. Yesterday, I was out walking in our road. The dog came out in the street. It's pretty aggressive. I'm not saying it's a dangerous dog, though. Traffic had to stop because he was in the middle of the road barking at me until I came into my yard, which he then followed me into my yard till I chased him out. I have also approached Oaklawn Township to see if they can do anything, so I'm going to be following up with them. And that's it in a summary.
Thank you. Tim, what is their policy for?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, generally speaking, stray animals is the responsibility of township government. We had an ordinance, you may recall, that was countywide for dog controls, and we tried to get townships to participate in that. And as it turned out, townships didn't want to participate in it. That got repealed back in probably about 08, 09, somewhere in there, long time ago. If this were the unorganized territory, we have a contract with Hart Animal Rescue for stray animals to be brought in. I'm not sure about Oaklawn Township, so I would encourage Mr. Ward to reach out to the township as well.
So have you reached out to Oaklawn yet?
I have reached out to Oaklawn. I do plan to attend their next meeting as well.
Okay. As Administrator Houle suggested, I think that is your best course of action at this point. And see if they do contract with Hart on an animal ordinance.
Okay, I will do that.
All right? Thank you.
All right. If I don't get anywhere there, I'll come back to talk to you guys.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you for your time.
You bet. Is there anybody else on the line that would like to speak in open forum?
I don't think so.
Seeing none, we will move on to the review and approve of March 9th, Crow Wing County Board of Meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
We
Second.
have a motion by Commissioner Franzine, second by Commissioner Coring. This is where I'd normally say all in favor. Therese, would you do roll?
Yes. Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye. Motion passes. Next, review and approve of today's agenda. Any additions?
Not that I know of. No.
I'd so move.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Brecken, second by Commissioner Franzine. Therese?
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye. The motion passes. All right, consent agenda. Are there any questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
We have
I'll
a
second.
motion by Commissioner Coring, second by Commissioner Brecken. Again, please.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Hall?
Aye, motion passes. All right, item 7, land services. First item is the Richard Swenson final plat. Jake?
All right. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. First item under land services is recommended action here is to approve, or the request is to approve the petition of Richard James Swenson, the current property owner for the final plat of Tip Top, consisting of 9 residential lots and 2 outlots involving 32 acres based on the findings of Factory Road, Pequot Lakes, in between Whitefish, Lower Whitefish, and Clamshell Lake. Interesting history on this one. This was, the preliminary plat was actually approved by the county board way back in May 11th, 2010. And so was the zoning request to go from waterfront commercial to, back then, what would have been Shoreland Residential 1. We don't have Shoreland Residential 1 anymore. It's called Shoreland District, but the concept is still the same. And so that was, those 2 motions were approved. However, the final plat guidelines are that you need to file the final plat within 1 year of the preliminary plat. And in 2012, there was a variance, actually 2011 and 2012, there was a variance granted to allow a couple of different timeline extensions to the final plat, and including an administrative decision that our office made last year to extend it further by 1 year. So here we are, basically 11 years later, ready to have the applicant file the final plat. One item I should note on this particular item is that if it's approved, the final plat with the approval, the zoning would change from waterfront commercial to Shoreland District for these 32 acres and these parcels that are proposed. Back then, and this particular item, one of the conditions was that the zoning would change only upon approval and recording of the final plat so that they could operate it as a resort in the meantime. And that's exactly what's happened. It's remained as a waterfront commercial. So with that introduction, again, looking to have board approval for the final plat of this item. Thank you.
Any questions for Jake?
I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Brecken, second by Commissioner Franzine. Any discussion? Therese?
Mr. Chair, is there anybody on Teams that's to speak to this? I'm just kind of curious.
We don't believe so.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Teresa?
Commissioner Brecken,
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine,
Aye.
Commissioner Coring,
Aye.
Commissioner Hopewell.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll move on to the Cragun's Resort. Is that you, Jake?
All right. Great. Okay, second item we have today is request to approve the resolution for a negative declaration for an EIS, Environmental Impact Statement. This is for Cragun's Resort. So we have on the team's call this morning several of the consultants and Cragun's Resort General Manager as well. I'm listening. If there's any questions that I can't answer or they can clarify, they can chime in at any time. So, Mr. Chair and members of the board, we do have them on the call as well should we need their assistance. But just to introduce this concept, Cragun's Resort is planning to construct a residential development and expand their golf course by adding 9 new holes and reconditioning their existing golf course. The project includes 66 residential housing lots integrated into the golf course expansion, and they're using a conservation design approach. The project is mostly in Section 27 of First Assessment, on County Road 77 on the west end. A small part of that project is in the city of East Gull Lake, and we are the regulatory government unit for this Environmental Assessment Worksheet, or EAW. We had a comment period for 30 days, as required by Minnesota rule, and that went from February 5th to March 11th, 2021. We received 1 comment from an individual and 3 from state agencies. We have those comments along with staff responses to those in your packet. We have the EAW, the figures, everything needed, and a proposed resolution with findings to support the negative declaration of the EIS at this time. There's probably more information I could go over, but at this time, but I think I'll leave it at that. I'll take any questions you have. Otherwise, we'll be looking for the motion. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Jake, I probably understand what this means, but can you just elaborate a little bit on what you call a conservation design? Is that like a lot of separation between the houses, or what's kind of what does that mean?
Yeah, Mr. Chair and Commissioner Coring, great question. Conservation design is the way we do planned unit developments in Crow Wing County. So it involves a minimum amount of open space that the developer has to set aside, a minimum of 50% open space. And this is more on the planning and zoning side, right? This meeting, we're just dealing with, of course, the EAW, but when we get to this planning and zoning side, which starts on March 30th, there's a public hearing and some approvals there. That's dealing with that conservation design, really is dealing with the way this is arranged, the 50% open space, the clustered design, making sure that all of the houses and things are all kind of lumped together in those clustered areas. And it's just a really good environmental way for this proposal to be packaged. So it's really the look and the feel of the resort related to our ordinance. Does that help answer the question?
Yes, I guess I do understand that. So it isn't that they're all separated. It's more kind of clustered with lots of green space in between if there's another cluster, correct?
Correct, yep.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you.
All right, I know we have a couple folks joining us via Teams. Would they like to comment on this at this time?
This is Randy Jengus, project manager for Cragun's, working with Cragun's, and no specific comments. I thought Jake did a really nice job of the summary there, and Just wanted to speak out and thank staff for their hard work. This is not an easy process. I know it takes them a long time, a lot of work, a lot of effort on the staff side, and they helped us move through the process very smoothly, and also kept with our timeline. So just really a lot of appreciation to staff to help us through that and all the comments and such. So appreciate it from our side.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll speak up as well on behalf of Craigens. Eric Peterson, General Manager here at Craigens. Just want to say hello to everybody and again reiterate what Randy said. Thank you to the staff. And again, thank you to my team here, Randy and Derek as well, for all the work they did putting this together, and be happy to answer any questions. But we're very excited here at Craigens about this potential expansion of our golf course, and actually a complete renovation as well with the Tom Lehman design team. So we're very excited to bring that notoriety to the Brainerd area. We already have a tremendous golf following in the Brainerd Lakes area, and we think this is going to enhance it even more. So again, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. All right, we'll bring her back to the board. Are there any comments, questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I would move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Brecken, second by Commissioner Franzine. Any discussion? If not, Dries?
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Holt?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, item 8 on today's agenda, Veteran Service Officer. Mr. Eric?
Morning, Chair, members of the board.
Morning.
Here for our the Veteran Service Office quarterly update. And first off, I'd like to start off, this has been a great year so far, piggybacking off of last year as far as considering everything going on. Our numbers have been really well. Our veterans have been being continued to be served as efficiently as we are able to in our office. As far as the federal numbers go, the federal VA numbers go, that doesn't come out until after this first quarter. So next quarter update, I will have that available for you, kind of how much money has been brought into Crow Wing County from the federal side of the VA. On the state side of the VA, Minnesota Department of Veteran Affairs, they offer, their main thing that they offer that we really assist our veterans with our financial assistance programs and grants. For one, I guess over last year spilling into this year is the COVID-19 disaster relief grants and special needs grants. They also added another one with the distance learning grants as well. The funding for those is winding down. It initiated with $6.2 million to the state of Minnesota to disperse to the veterans. And with that, the veterans would come to our office and apply for it based on different qualifications. The funds are almost all up, so we're really making a big push for our veterans if they need assistance to come to our office, make an appointment with us so we can get that processed. Last year, just as a recap, we had $218,000 of state assistance dollars go into the pockets of our veterans in Crow Wing County. So that was a significant amount considering the operations from last year and the doors being closed. SSAP financial assistance for this year for the first quarter is at $28,170.55 brought into Crow Wing County for our veterans. That is up 23% from 2020. I expected that. During this time, COVID didn't really hit until the start of the second quarter, I guess, if you'd say. So we're doing well still for our SSAP grants. I expect that number to definitely drop down a little bit as the funds deplete. But I encourage veterans, as deferrals and with payments of rent and all that stuff, I can see there being some financial hardships out there for not just our veterans, but Crow Wing County. But our veterans, please come to us and seek out assistance for special needs grants so we can continue to help you stay in your house and pay utility bills and main things like that. So with the financial assistance that has been provided through SSAP, we assisted 12 veterans with the disaster relief grant so far this year. We assisted 10 veterans with dental vouchers. So the guidelines to be approved for dental vouchers are with a single family veteran, it is about $38,000 that they have to meet, and then an income of $1,300 or $1,900, and then assets have to be less than $3,000. So that it's really stricken to those who don't have the income and the assets to be able to pay for dental needs. Assistance with 6 veterans with the special needs grants, and so those special needs grants were focused on maintaining, paying their rent and their mortgages, and also their utility bills that they were getting behind. So it helped our veterans stay in their house. Our office operations, we continue to work in the office as we always have been. We're assisting veterans by phone, email, and by appointment. Still, the building doors are locked, but we did not let that become an obstacle for us. It's actually made things more streamlined and more efficient with how we operate, a little bit more organized, and we can assist veterans very well by dedicating that time block to our veterans through appointments. So we're highly recommending appointments at this time as well as future operations. If we have a drop-in, obviously we'll do our best to assist their needs at that time and follow up with an appointment if needed. Just some first quarter numbers. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them. We had 2,025 veteran contacts in our office this quarter, which is by phone, email, or mail, and also appointments. We had 36 new veterans that were not in our system. New veterans come into our system and into our office, and we've been assisting them with benefits. We produced 538 forms, and out of those, we submitted 52 new claims for compensation. 41 also supplemental claims, so claims that have been denied in the past, we resubmitted with new evidence for their benefits. And 15 veterans established VA healthcare. So that was done either through becoming, there's 2 ways to get healthcare through the VA. It's being service connected by 10% or more, or else meeting the income guidelines, being under $41,000, roughly approximately there, depending on dependency. And make it under that, then you qualify for the VA healthcare. So VA healthcare or healthcare in general these days are huge and very important to everybody, and it has definitely assisted our veterans dramatically for those who can't afford them. Okay.
Any questions for Eric?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, as you're working with these veterans, and the real estate market's kind of crazy anyway, and there's talk about, evictions and foreclosures. Do you see that impacting many of our veterans in this area?
There's been a few that we've been working with to prevent the evictions from happening. I think the laws right now are preventing that from happening until I think out to in September, if I remember hearing right, that they're extended that not having to pay or push back the payments. So that's what I'm anticipating happening down the road. We are seeing that some veterans and anyone in general are getting behind in their payments because of loss of work, loss of job opportunities, or things like that. So we're encouraging any veteran that is under those circumstances, if you can afford paying your bills, pay your bills. Don't take it, you know, you want to pay it now and not try to build that up so you don't fall behind. And also, you know, if you are struggling, to reach out to us, because we have a lot of organizations that can assist you with this help. So.
Just one more question I wanted to ask. You said you had 36 new veterans sign up. What are the ages of those veterans?
So we have a variety. I would say we've had a lot more younger veterans in the Gulf War era, between 24 and 38. We've also had several new Vietnam era veterans finally come into our office and looking at benefits. I think there's a couple different things that have addressed that. Retirement age is coming. Healthcare is starting to drop down from their work, and they're looking for that VA benefits for healthcare, and also just, you know, there's been some that have developed the presumptives of Agent Orange who served in Vietnam, and so now we're able to get them benefits for that. For the younger ones, I think it's just some social media posts and just getting the word out there for recommending them to come to our office just to get checked in with our office. You don't have to do anything now, just come to our office, get your information into us, and let's at least notify you of what your benefits are, so you can make that decision down the road. So.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions for Eric? Seeing none, we will move on to your next item.
Chair and members of the board, thank you. I would like to do a presentation on National Vietnam War Veterans Day and get that acknowledgement. It is on March 29th. And so what that is, as we go throughout the year, there's different veterans holidays that are acknowledged. And so I would like to bring that up to you. You guys have been the board has been very supportive of our veterans, and I think this is something that you would appreciate, and as well as our county citizens and veterans. So the National Vietnam War Veterans Day, it was signed into law and recognized as an annual holiday in 2017 by President Donald J. Trump. And the National Vietnam War Veterans Day is on March 29th. It honors the men and women who served and sacrificed during the longest conflict in the United States history. Might be the second one now with Vietnam conflict involved 5 U.S. presidencies, crossing nearly 2 decades and 500,000 U.S. military personnel, and it left a mark on America's psyche. March 22nd was chosen because on March 29th was chosen because on March 29th, 1973, combat and combat support units withdrew from South Vietnam. And generations later, veterans of this period are gaining the respect that was not so freely given upon their return. And returning veterans did not always receive respectful welcomes upon their arrival on American soil. Over 58,000 were killed, never to return. The observance recognizes the military service of these men and women who answered the call to serve their country when she needed them. They didn't make the decisions to go to war. And throughout the observance, we recognize the service and duty rendered by all servicemen and women of this era. In Crow Wing County, out of the veterans in Crow Wing County, we have approximately 2,100 Vietnam-era veterans, and that makes up 40% of our veterans in Crow Wing County. I wanted to add with this presentation that for any Vietnam veteran listening or any family members listening, in 2020, the Blue Water Navy Act was passed. opening access to thousands of Navy veterans who served within 12 nautical miles of the coast of Vietnam, and to apply for the Agent Orange presumptives for disabilities. I also want to add to that surviving spouses of Vietnam Blue Water Navy veterans, please contact our office because there could be benefits available for you as well as a surviving spouse to a veteran who passed away prior to, well, even till now, but prior to this, these benefits being available prior to 2020. And Crow Wing County Veteran Service Offices provides assistance with these veterans and surviving spouses filling out the federal and state VA benefits. And I got a short video for you on the National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Hopefully it works here.
Hopefully.
I have confidence in you.
We're gathered today, just as we have gathered before, to remember those who served, those who fought, and those still missing, and those who gave their last full measure of devotion for our country. One of those who fell wrote shortly before his death these words: "Take what they have left and what they have taught you with their dying, and keep it with your own. And take one moment to embrace those gentle heroes you left behind." We take that moment to embrace the gentle heroes of the Vietnam War. We remember those who were called upon to give all a person can give. And we remember those who were prepared to make that sacrifice if it were demanded of them in the line of duty, though it never was. Most of all, we remember the devotion and gallantry with which all of them ennobled their nation as they became champions of a noble cause. We remember today that all our gentle heroes of Vietnam have given us a lesson in something more, a lesson in living love. Yes, for all of them, those who came back and those who did not. Their love for their families lives. Their love for their buddies on the battlefields and friends back home lives. Their love of their country lives. For too long a time, they stood in a chill wind as if on a winter night's watch. And in that night, their deeds spoke to us, but we knew them not. Their voices called to us, but we heard them not. Yet in this land that God has blessed, the dawn always at last follows the dark, and now morning has come. The night is over. We see these men and know them once again, and know how much we owe them, how much they've given us, how much we can never fully repay. And not just as individuals, but as a nation, we say, we love you. Vietnam's service is once more universally recognized as a badge of pride. And what can we say to our Vietnam veterans but welcome home?
Eric, is there any sound with it? I don't hear any sound. It's just kind of silent.
Yeah, there is sound with it. It must not be going through, though.
Okay, thanks.
So this March 29th, I want everyone that is listening to this to remember that is National Vietnam War Veterans Day, and to honor our Vietnam era veterans. I will also post that video on our Crow Wing County Veterans Service Office Facebook website as well, or post as well. So you can log into that to hear the sound if it didn't go through on Teams and you didn't hear it.
Eric, I probably know the answer, but was there any programs scheduled for that day?
There are no programs at this time. You know, there is something that I'll probably work with our post office or post groups to see if they're going to do anything to acknowledge that. I'm pretty sure there will be in the future. There just hasn't been anything that I know set up for that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Eric? Paul? Commissioner Coring? It's not. All right. Anything else, Eric?
That's it.
Thank you.
Jared. Thank you.
Item 9 is County Sheriff.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, nothing at this time, but certainly, if you have any questions, I'd certainly like to try to answer.
Any questions for the sheriff? Seeing none, you got off easy today. County Attorney, Mr. Ryan.
Good morning, everyone. I don't have anything specific to add either, other than I did once again want to give a shout out to our public health personnel here in Crow Wing County. In my weekly roundtable with county attorneys around the state, I'm pretty sure that we benefit from the gold standard of public health and how they're getting the COVID stuff dealt with, and particularly the vaccination rollout. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. Other than that, I can answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for the county attorney? Seeing none, thank you, Don.
Have a good day, everybody.
County Administrator.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, yesterday the senior management team met, and as we have been for over a year now, talked about COVID. We are seeing a slight uptick in the case rates in Crow Wing County, and so that is a little bit concerning. As we increase our vaccination rate, we're hopeful that that will certainly bring that into check. It's just a question of sort of the timing of how those two can come together, and vaccine still in somewhat limited supply, although I will say it is much more available in the community today than it was 2 weeks ago, and that's a good thing. So we continue to make good progress. The last I'd checked on Friday, we were over 25% of the population in Crow Wing County that's received at least one vaccine dose. So we are making progress. We also talked about we had a mass vaccination clinic practice this past Friday, and Public Health was going to hold a clinic here and have some second shots come in and some targeted populations. Because we wanted to at least have the capacity, if it came to that, we wanted to practice doing it on a mass vaccination basis. So we went out to the fairgrounds, the curling club, and held the clinic they were going to hold here out there so that we could practice. It went really, really smoothly. I was very impressed as well with the public health staff with how well they had planned this. This is something that they have done before and have planned and have been planning. And my entire career in county government, I can think of multiple times in which we were practicing mass vaccination clinics. And so it's not that we don't know how to do it. We have a plan to do it. And just seeing it executed so smoothly was really pretty fun to watch. It was clear that we could scale it. We could scale up based on that location, and it would not be hard to do so. It also became clear that we could scale that up wherever we needed to go, as long as there was adequate space for separation and stations and registration and the like. I'm not sure that a mass vaccination clinic is going to be necessary as we see more vaccine supply coming into pharmacies, clinics, the hospitals, and the like. But preparation, that's emergency preparedness. We're going to be prepared regardless. If whether or not we need to do it, we want to have the capacity to do it in case we are pressed into that service. We also talked a little bit about budgeting software, and you had a conversation at the Budget Committee about the limitations that we see in Munis, especially as it relates to budgeting. So we're exploring some different budget softwares that would help us to do that more efficiently and effectively. We are also taking a look at our pipeline for continuous improvement projects. So our black belts are reconvening as we sort of I'm hoping, turning the corner on COVID, starting to get back to some of the stuff that we had to suspend in order to do the extra work that COVID required. Continuous improvement efforts were one of those things, so I'm happy that we are reconvening those groups. We're in the process of prioritizing the pipeline of projects and soliciting new projects. We also had an extended conversation about the federal stimulus package. As you know, that has become law. Crow Wing County will be eligible to receive about $12.6 million. It will come to us in two payments. First, we could draw down half of that sum as soon as the federal government works out the details on it. We would not be able to draw down the second half of that until at least 12 months after we have drawn down the first half. So I would encourage you to think about, and as you're out and about talking to people about where the greatest unmet needs remain in the community as it relates to COVID, we're going to need to have a conversation about where would you like those resources to be targeted. Happy to answer questions about that or anything else related to county government.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, if I can, Mr. Houle, in regards to the vaccinations, are there any areas of our county that are not being served in regards to people getting vaccinations conveniently, especially the northern part or maybe the eastern part of the county?
I have not heard that. We did hold an open registration for about a month, you may recall, homebound seniors, because we were concerned about those who couldn't get to us. And so we did take those registrations. We, I believe, have worked that registry already. So to the best of my knowledge, there are not. If someone was having a hard time getting in to get a vaccination, they can certainly call us at the Public Health Department. The main number, 824-1054, I think. Look up the main number for Crow Wing County. Give us a call. We'll make sure that Public Health knows you're out there and make sure that we can help you to connect to resources in the community. We wouldn't want anybody who can't get in to have that be the reason for not getting vaccinated.
Very good.
Tim, has there been any talk, I've heard some states now opening this up to anybody over the age of 16. Have we heard anything as far as Minnesota doing that, or are we still kind of at that top tier of age groups that are allowed to be vaccinated?
In Minnesota, we are 2 rungs from the bottom, with the bottom being wide open. And so all of the different tiers that we have gone through, there is only one remaining tier of a priority workers, and that's essential workers in wastewater treatment, in some manufacturing facilities, transit, I forget the category, but it is the remaining essential workers. And I would expect that that one will be opened at the same time as it is thrown open to the general public. So we are one iteration, in my estimation, we're one iteration away from it being opened for the general public, and I wouldn't be shocked if that doesn't happen within the next couple of weeks.
Would we expect a surge of people at that point, or?
I would.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about everybody that's between 16 and 55 that have had a struggle trying to get a vaccine, and that's a significant portion of the population. I hope we have that problem.
Right, exactly. Any other questions for the administrator? Paul?
Nope, no questions for me. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I just let everyone know that that number that Mr. Houle gave out was our fax machine?
Sorry about that. What's the right number, Teresa?
The vaccine line is 218-824-1170.
This is why I surround myself by people smarter than me.
Thank you, Teresa. Anything else? Tim?
Mr. Chair, no.
All right. Okay, item 12, status of public entry into the county buildings. going to, or is that just up for conversation?
Mr. Chair, you had had a conversation about this at the committee of the whole meeting, and so I think what I heard was that there is a consensus around unlocking the doors to the Land Services Building at this point in time, and I did not hear a consensus to go further than that. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, I think with that, Mr. Chair, if I can, I would like to make a motion that we open the Land Services Building for general public, so that especially as we're going into a tax season, and we can provide the customer service they have at this time.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Brecken, second by Commissioner Franzine, to open up the doors of the Land Services Building at this time. It is effective
If we could make it effective March 29th.
March 29th. All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, Therese?
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Hogg?
Aye. Motion passes.
Mr. Chair, if I could, I guess I would like to ask Mr. Houle if maybe the senior management team could give us a recommendation on opening the other facilities in some kind of a timeline that we could move forward with as well.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Brecken, absolutely. In fact, that was part of our discussion yesterday at senior management team, was tracking where are we at with vaccinations for county employees. That is a significant milestone in my mind.
Okay.
Thank you. Any additional business? Anybody like to discuss? None? All right, at this time, we would entertain a motion to move into closed session.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Franzine, second by Commissioner Brecken. Therese?
And we do need to state that it's for pending litigation pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D.05 subdivision 3B.
Gotta take that other one out of there.
And for roll call, where am I at? Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Hogg?
Aye. We are in closed session.
And it'll take me just a minute.
At this point, we will ask Mel to give us an update on the litigation.
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners. Today we have in front of you a settlement agreement for a 299A claim for a gentleman by the name of Chad Turcott. The settlement language would read as follows, and this would be your action for the board: to approve the settlement between Crow Wing County, the City of Pequot, and Chad Turcott, contingent upon the City of Pequot Lakes also approving said agreement and authorizing the Human Resources Director or the County Administrator to sign any documents necessary to effectuate the settlement of this claim. And that's what we have in front of you today.
All right, and we will need a motion for that, I'm assuming.
Also move.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Brecken, second by Commissioner Franzine. Any discussion? Hearing none. Therese?
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Hogg?
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
We're at the point of adjournment.
So moved.
Motion
Oh,
by
second.
Commissioner Franzine, second by Commissioner Brecken. Therese?
Commissioner Brecken?
Aye.
Commissioner Franzine?
Aye.
Commissioner Coring?
Aye.
Commissioner Hogg?
Aye. We are adjourned.